Anna Devane is a legitimate broker dealing in expensive jewels and rare artifacts. She's far from indigent. She owns a brownstone apartment in New York City. She has no police record. Low on funds, are we, Anna?
So soon. Now you know. I'm not poor. What are you going to do? Take me to court for lying?
Well, it's apparent you don't need my money for your plastic surgery.
Of course not.
Do you ever tell the truth?
But then you should know that, Robert.
Silly me. Here's me trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yes. You're slipping. But there is an element of truth in my story.
About needing cash?
No. I need a miracle. There's not enough money in the world that could save this face.
I should have known.
Don't take it so hard.
Not that I could have done anything to stop you.
I didn't know that you cared.
You know, I was a fool to believe you, even for a minute.
Aren't you overreacting just a little?
You know why you're here?
On Earth?
No, Port Charles.
Enlighten me.
To get back at me.
Really?
What other reason could there be?
You tell me. You used to be the pride of the WSB.
Yeah, for all the good that's doing me now.
You flatter yourself.
Not of late.
What an ego. I mean, do you really think that I would go to all this trouble just to hurt you?
Why else would you be in Port Charles?
Why don't you punch it up on your state-of-the-art communications equipment? See if that computes.
What do you want from me?
What are you offering?
A ride out of town on a rail.
A round trip?
I think we've danced long enough.
Never. You were always the smoothest on the dance floor, I seem to remember. But I think that you've forgotten a step or two, as far as security is concerned.
Do you want to spell it out?
Yes. Have you any idea how easy it is to break into this communications room?
I'll bite. How easy?
A child could do it. Provided, of course, he'd been invited to your birthday party. Really, Robert, have you forgotten what Donnelly taught us about never repeating the pattern?
Why don't you remind me?
Using your birth date as the combination to open the door to the communications room. What could be more obvious, Robert?
Damn.
Perhaps you should consider retiring.
You broke into this room?
Yes. About 10 seconds.
And messed with the equipment?
Oh, a computer as complicated as that.
How long did it take you to figure it out?
Less time than it took me to break in.
What are you after?
Information.
About?
You.
Anything I can help you with?
Yes. I'm curious as to why you became so angry when you knew that I was going to be working for Sean Donnelly.
Well, you look very nice.
Well, was it worth the wait?
Isn't it always?
We have to leave for court soon, don't we?
We'll make it.
Where's Anna?
Who?
Our house guest.
Probably at work. I mean, that's where all dedicated career women are at this hour of the day, isn't it?
Do I detect a note of sarcasm?
Absolutely not. I couldn't be happier that now she's gainfully employed.
Sorry I brought it up.
You did more than that. You're responsible for her getting the job with Donnelly.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wish I never had.
Well, look upon it as your good deed for the month. I mean, maybe she can afford to pay us some rent now. Or better still, get a place of her own. I wonder if Sean would give her a raise.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Probably, but should.
What is it about Anna working for Sean that bothers you so much?
Not a single thing.
Tell me.
You want me to make something up?
Robert,
What makes you think that I give a damn what that woman does?
just little things like the fact that you turn purple every time it's mentioned.
You want to go out tonight?
Not if it means changing the subject.
What if I throw in a little dancing?
You really don't want to talk about Anna, do you?
Look, what I want is for you to spend considerably less time worrying about the rest of the world.
Well, I can't make any promises.
Ah. Not even for one night.
What would you prefer I worry about?
Me. Me. I want your undivided attention all evening.
Well, very well, Mr. Commissioner. You asked for it.
I demand it.
Then so do I.
There's nothing I'd like better.
Not only while we're making love, but afterwards, too. Do you have any idea what it does for a lady's morale to have her husband spend half the night staring out the bedroom window after they've been making love?
I guess it didn't look too good.
Well, it's not my idea of romance, I'll tell you that.
I'm sorry, it's just this business about Slater. Time is running out. We've got no more leads.
Well, what do you mean?
Tony's due out of hospital very shortly. Now, what happens when word gets out that he's starting to get his memory back? What happens when Slater learns that he's starting to remember the past?
Dr. Steve Hardy, please. It's Robert Scorpio calling. Thank you. Want to see how Tony's doing this morning? Steve, good morning. What's the news on Tony Jones? Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm aware the word is out that he's improving. That's what I'm calling for. Yeah, well, there's bound to be a lot of speculation about his amnesia. Right, yeah. Listen, do what you can, will you? And Steve, make sure the official word is that Tony has no memory at all of the night he was shot. Right. He remembers nothing. Believe me, that's his best protection. Bye.
So, how would you like your eggs, sweetheart? Scrambled, over easy?
Well...
Oh, Anna. Perfect timing. What would you like for breakfast?
Oh, no, thank you. No breakfast, honey. Good morning, Robert.
Nothing at all? Croissant, toast?
No, I'm having breakfast with my employer, Mr. Donnelly, this morning.
Polly, look, I'm already late. Can I have at least one cup of tea?
Certainly. Excuse me, Anna. I'll get that in the kitchen.
Damn it, I'm not going to put up with this any longer. Now, I want you out of this house.
Didn't you hear what I said? I'm going to have breakfast with Sean.
To hell with your breakfast. I want you out of my house, out of my town, out of my life. Forever.
Why kick me when I'm down, Robert? I mean, look at me.
I want you out of this town, Anna.
Robert.
That was Celia on the phone. She's going to Manhattan tomorrow for a day or two of shopping, and she wants me to go with her.
Well, by all means, go.
Okay, I shall. I'll call her back in a minute.
Oh, I mustn't be late for my boss.
Have a nice day.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Robert, why are you so obviously unfriendly to Anna? It's not like you to be rude.
I'll get that. Hello?
Hi, Robert. It's Amy.
Yes, Amy, what is it?
Robert, I know that this might sound strange, but I think that Ian's up to something that has to do with Tony Jones.
What makes you think that?
Well, I overheard him questioning one of the med students, and I heard Ian say that he'd talked to him again in the cafeteria.
Is Ian still in the hospital?
Yes, and he's waiting in the cafeteria.
All right, thank you, Amy. I'm glad you called. I'm coming right over.
What's your temper, darling? You know what you like before you've had your tea.
Example, would you say that his amnesia is selective? I mean, by that, does he remember some things and not others?
Well, what do we got here? The General Hospital correspondent, the Herald, hard at work?
We're just having a little coffee here, Commissioner. I'd ask you to join us, but we just, my friend and I just don't have that much time.
Your friend? I don't think we've met.
Mister, this is Kevin.
Kevin, eh? Yeah, you don't seem to be too familiar with your friend, do you? Nice to meet you, Kevin.
O'Connor.
Robert Scorpio, Police
to meet you.
Commissioner of Port Charles. You get that?
What?
It's Kevin O'Connor. We don't want any inaccuracies in the Port Charles Herald now, do we?
I just told you we're having a cup of coffee here, Commissioner. So that's all.
Coffee, yeah. Coffee's a good drink. All sorts of things come out of coffee. Grist for the mill and all that. I mean, everybody has a story, even if you have to drag it out of them, right?
You know anything about paranoia, Kevin? I believe the Commissioner here would be a great case history for you, don't you?
Well, look, if you two want to talk, maybe I should just...
Don't let Ian rattle you, Kevin, or should I say con you.
Well, sir, I wasn't,
Well, I believe you were talking about amnesia, is that right?
Listen, Scorpio, why don't you just...
You get this good. You and your lousy rag. You do anything for a story. Don't you realize you're putting Tony Jones's life on the line here? One of your stories could get him killed.
Why don't we just calm down here, will
I
you,
don't
Commissioner?
want to calm down.
I wasn't going to tell him anything about Dr. Jones.
I'm putting you on notice as of right now. One word on that crummy rag of yours about Jones and his condition. And I promise you, I will make life unpalatable.
Why don't you knock it off, Scorpio? You're a public official around here. If anybody's life's going to change, it's going to be yours. Now, you interfere with my job, and I'll smear you from the front page all the way to the classified heads. You got that?
You just try.
Actually, I wasn't sure if I should come and tell you this, but the more I thought about it, the more that I thought that I should.
Well, I'm very glad you did, Amy.
Well, I know that people think that I jump to the wrong conclusion sometimes, and sometimes I do. But this is different. I know Ian, and I know he is a very dangerous man.
I think Robert has the same feeling about him.
After what happened between the two of them in the cafeteria, I think that Robert really has a reason to be worried.
Ah, we're just talking about you.
Well, nothing good, I'm sure. Hi, Amy. What's up?
Well, frankly, Robert, I'm worried.
What's wrong?
Ian. Ian is a very dangerous man, and he has no scruples whatsoever.
He's not my favorite person either, but what in particular is wrong?
Well, isn't that enough? He's out to get you, Robert, and I think that he should be stopped.
He will be, when the time's appropriate. But I appreciate the concern. It's very thoughtful of you.
Well, I'm going to get out of here. You will be careful then?
Extra careful.
Okay.
Well, thanks for coming. It was very sweet of you.
I'll see you later.
Oh.
Wasn't that sweet of her?
Very.
She right? Should you worry about him?
Let's just say that I'm keeping my guard up.
And so you are worried.
Forget it. Now, are we still going to New York?
Yes, I am. I thought it'd be a good chance for me to get my matron of honor dress for Celia's wedding.
Be careful. Do not make it too matronly.
And you be careful, too.
See? Don't worry about him. He can't do a thing.